At this time, there was no attempt to put these individuals on the watch list, correct?
That's right.
No discussion. To the best of your knowledge, was the FBI ever notified?
To the best of my knowledge, the intent was to notify the FBI, and I believe the people involved in the operation thought the FBI had been notified. Something apparently was dropped somewhere, and we don't know where that was.
Was there any confusion over the connection of al-Midhar and al-Hazmi with individuals tied to the 98 East African bombing?
There was, the reason that we were curious about them was we were trying to understand their connection to the East Africa bombing structure. We didn't know what it was. They were new players.
But we knew there was a connection.
We knew there was a connection, an impersonal connection to the bombing structure. But what you have is a hypothesis. You have some connection to a part of it, and so we have two first names, and then we go off and we try and find out more about them.
The manner in which FBI headquarters handled the electronic cable from Phoenix provides valuable insight into the Bureau's operational environment before September 11, 2001. A number of FBI executives have acknowledged that the handling of the electronic cable illustrates important weaknesses before September 11th. For example, Director Robert Mueller of the FBI told the Joint Inquiry, quote, "The Phoenix memo should have been disseminated to all field offices and to our sister agencies, and it should have triggered a broader analytical approach. These incidents have informed us on needed changes, particularly the need to improve accountability, analytic capacity and resources, information sharing and technology, to name but a few," end quote. Joint Inquiry found the FBI's strategic, analytic, and technological problems were the primary weaknesses demonstrated by the handling of the Phoenix electronic cable. As a supervisory headquarters agent testified, when you want to look at systematic problems, clearly you are going to be focused in on strategic analysis. You're going to be focused in on technology. And to run a national program, you have to do both. Phoenix electronic cable demonstrates how strategic analysis took a backseat to operational priorities at the Bureau before September 11th. Many people throughout the government and the FBI believed that an attack was imminent in summer of 2001. This led only to further de-emphasis of strategic analysis. For example, the specialist in the Osama bin Laden unit who handled the Phoenix electronic cable was primarily concerned with a person in the electronic cable connected, persons arrested overseas, paid less attention to the flight school theories. The radical fundamentalist unit chief told the Joint Inquiry that because he could not keep up with the approximately 100 pieces of mail he saw daily, he assigned responsibility for reviewing intelligence reports to the intelligence operations specialist in the unit. Even the FBI analytical unit responsible for strategic analysis was largely producing tactical products to satisfy the operational section. There was no system for handling projects with nationwide impact, such as the Phoenix electronic cable, differently than most matters. In fact, the Phoenix agent testified that he recognized the possibility that the electronic cable might not receive a great deal of attention. The handling of the Phoenix electronic cable also exposed information sharing problems among FBI headquarters elements. A number of analysts commented in the Joint Inquiry interviews that the Osama bin Laden unit and the radical fundamentalist unit frequently do not share information with the International Terrorism Analytic Unit. An Osama bin Laden unit supervisor explained that the Investigative Services Division, of which the analytic unit is a part, was not a major player, and that the information was often not shared with it. In testimony before the Joint Inquiry, the FBI's Deputy Assistant Director for Counterterrorism Analysis referred to strategic analysis as the Bureau's poor stepchild before September 11th. As a result, strategic analysis were often marginalized by the operational units and rarely, if ever, received requests from those units for assessments for pending al-Qaeda cases. Even if the Phoenix electronic cable had been transmitted to the International Terrorism Analytic Unit, its capacity to conduct strategic analysis on Al-Qaeda was limited because 5 of the unit's analysts have been transferred to operational units. According to the chief of the National Security Intelligence Division, the Bureau had no personnel dedicated solely to strategic analysis before September 11th. The joint inquiry had also told that as competent new analysts arrived in the Osama bin Laden unit and the radical fundamentalist unit, would actually recruit them as operational support analysts or refuse to share information with them if they remain in the analytic unit. Due to the FBI's technological limitations, operational units such as the Osama bin Laden unit and the radical fundamentalist unit controlled information flow. Strategic analysis often had to rely on operational units for incoming intelligence, a problem the FBI's Deputy Assistant Director for Counterterrorism Analysis acknowledged before the joint inquiry. As he said, because the FBI lacked effective data mining capabilities and analytical tools, it has often been unable to retrieve key information and analyze it in a timely manner, and a lot has probably slipped through the cracks as a result. The handling of the Phoenix electronic cable also illustrates the extent to which technological limitations affected information flow, because most electronic cable addresses have told the joint inquiry that they had not seen the electronic cable before September 11th. The FBI's electronic system is not designed to ensure that all addresses receive communications. Point a headquarters supervisory agent addressed in testimony before the joint inquiry. Quote, I could tell you that based on my position that my name is on hundreds, if not thousands of documents in that building that will probably not be brought to my attention, end quote. In fact, the electronic system was considered so unreliable that many personnel in the field and at headquarters used email and followed up personally on important communications to ensure that they were not neglected. The same supervisory agent described the FBI's information systems as a setup for failure in terms of keeping a strategic picture of what they were up against. He went on to conclude the technology problem are still there. The radical fundamentalist unit and the Osama bin Laden unit policies at the time of the Phoenix electronic cable gave the person to whom the matter was assigned discretion to determine which people in the unit would see the report. One FBI employee said he was not certain why the Phoenix agent put all the addresses on the electronic cable, but believes the intelligence operations specialist probably decided that the electronic cable was more relevant to the Osama bin Laden unit and therefore did not route the communication to all the addresses within the radical fundamentalist unit.